trend here is not so much doing like a 30-second sound-alike of a Britney track, which is still very much the trend in some parts of the world. Here it's very much they want you to create the new trend has been to create a whole entirely realised 3.5-minute pop song, which they then, there's an artist attached to that, which they release that digitally, and it's the whole time with the campaign. And like I'm working on something for CoverGirl, very much exactly like that right now, where we've got this girl and we've written a song with her, and she's the artist, and it's like that's the pitch for the campaign, and she'll be in the campaign, and yeah, it's all pretty exciting stuff. But to me that's a lot more interesting, and it's like, and it's great for young artists because like there's no avenues, people aren't buying records, there's no music shows on TV, and there's like 4 talk shows, late night talk shows like your Lettermans and stuff, and that's pretty much it. But it's hard for a new artist to get a break, so I think it's a perfectly legitimate way to break in and get exposure now. There's a band here which pretty much, to my mind, only exists on television, and it's a massive sort of I really hate it. It's what I call Pro Tools rock. It's very there. It's a band called The Fray, and they sort of had their big breakout on Grey's Anatomy. They had a track placement, and their manager basically calls the ABC network as the last great radio station in the world, and they've bundled their new songs. So they basically give the station carte blanche of their whole new record, to work it, and they go, we want to put on performance on the American Music Awards, which is a huge rating award show over here, and then they get the song to place for, I think they're teaming up the new season of Lost, and then if you download Lost on iTunes, you get the Fray single for free. The guy even talks about when they're writing, they're talking about what TV show is going to be running under it, and that to me, it was just, the musician in me just goes, wow, that's so calculated, and the other half goes, I do that, and I'm sure a lot of musicians do, and I actually think it's really, really smart, but I wish the music was cooler, I think. For me personally, I've just spent the last 2.5 years making a new record, my new band. I'm now the old guy, being in my late 30s. I'm now the old fat dude at the back of the stage. I've got the hot young model, actor / type guy at the front, shaking his hips. The band's called Jump Jump Dance Dance. So that's pretty exciting, and that to me is very much a fulfillment of wanting to make Duran Duran records again. So it's pretty much the vibe. It's very 80s synth pop, but so I guess a slightly dancey version of say what the Killers were doing on their first record, not where they've gone now, but and being a dance music DJ, there's obviously a lot of that in there as well. And I've stolen a lot of bass lines from The Clash and Duran Duran. I'll probably get sued. But yeah, so that's me personally, basically get that record out. And to be honest, talking about in terms of marketing it, I've given it to music supervisors first that are placing it in before the record's even out. Like I plan to, we've already had 2 songs, had a song in a film called The House Bunny, probably 6 months ago. That was an instrumental demo, the song wasn't even mixed. And I've got a song in a trailer that I just got picked up yesterday for a new feature film, and and that's before the song. I just wanted to get the listener awareness, to get out there as many avenues to get the impressions as much as possible, with an audience, and before we've even put the record out, and that to me was very important when we were making the record. To me, I used to have a sign in my studio in Sydney saying, when I was writing lyrics, it'd be like, what would Eno do, and then what would Bono do, and now it's like, I think the last 2 years it's been, would it sell a washing machine? I think in terms of the state of the industry, it's been a pretty tough slog. I think there's a lot of music houses out here, and a lot of people have sort of diversified, like publishing companies who just look after pop writers have sort of moved over into advertising, and advertising people have now moved over into the video game industry. And in terms of the music houses, specifically what I deal in, and everyone used to thumb their nose at video games, and those guys are just, the video game guys making the music, I think there's something like 350 houses here in California alone that make music just for video games, music and sound design, and that's a pretty huge industry, that's a lot of really good money there. And what I gather, the budgets are up there with feature films pretty soon, it's like, You know, you used to get like $1 million or so to do a feature film, and now it's like half that. You know, and we're talking like your Hans Zimmers and stuff like that, like the huge guys, and like the budgets are getting close to that with video game guys now. You know, so they're sort of meeting somewhere in the middle, and you know, with guys like me, you know, to program an NPC back in Adelaide, they're just trying to get in there and, you know, wedge in there sideways to get some of the action, pick up the scraps off the table. You know, and there's definitely enough work to go around. It's all about budgets and what you're prepared to do for how much, and you know, that's kind of where it's at basically.